Chapter 15 Anubhavavum Jnanavum Jnanatanne. The subject and the object are one in myself. So this chapter is mostly a recap of all that Atmananda has taught till now. So while we go through the points, you see that you make a mental note, a mental checklist. Yes, I recognize this experientially. Yes, I recognize this experientially. Yes, I do. Oh, this is still not clear experientially. It's only intellectual. So you make a mental checklist while we go through this chapter. Yes. So let's begin now. So far, Atmananda has clarified that the external world of objects, including all the physical bodies, does not exist. He said that if objects really existed, that would make another plane of time and space real and existent, which means that this plane of time and space, which is existing, would exist or stand apart from the plane of awareness. Because in awareness, there is no time, there is no space. In your own direct experience check, do you see two separate planes of existence? When you look closely, you recognize, no, I see objects superimposed on my own awareness. I can never, ever possibly recognize an object independent of my own awareness. An object cannot exist without my awareness or consciousness of it. Yeah? I cannot gather enough evidence for the existence of objects apart from my awareness. Even if I ask my friend or my family member to check it for me. For example, I am sitting here in this room. I am not in the living room. If I ask someone to go walk to the living room and verify if the same white couch exists in that room when I am not there, that is still not proof enough of the existence of that world, the couch, the living room, whatever. It is not proof enough because this person also who went to that other room and returned back here to report to me, he is not independent of my awareness or consciousness. So his testimony is not evidence enough because his words are superimposed on my awareness. Yeah? This person, his words, his speech, whatever it is superimposed on my awareness. In simple words, this person cannot exist independent of my awareness. So his testimony is not independent of my awareness. So his going to the other room and seeing something and coming back and reporting its existence is also not independent of my awareness. Even if I keep a camera in the other room to record that yes, that white couch exists in the living room, when I am not there in that room, still it is not enough evidence because the seeing of the recording, of the recorded video is not apart from my awareness or consciousness. Seeing is superimposed on my own awareness, on my own consciousness. Even if I say that my own 5 senses of sight, sound, smell, taste, touch prove the existence of the external object, it is still insufficient evidence. Why? Because sight, sound, smell, taste, touch are superimposed on my awareness or consciousness. They do not stand apart from it. Yes? This can also be proved by my own daily experience of my dream state. For example, my 5 senses of sight, sound, smell, taste, touch, they work equally well in the dream state as they do in the waking state. If you say that for the functioning of these 5 faculties of mine, I need the physical organ called the eye, the physical organ called the nose, the tongue, the skin, the ear, which are only available in the waking state, then how come in the dream state do I see objects without eyes? How do I hear somebody's voice without ears? How do I experience touch without skin? How do I taste a flavor without the tongue? How do I smell a fragrance without a nose? Isn't it true that in your dream state you are devoid of these organs and you can still see, smell, hear, touch and taste? The so-called objects of sight, sound, smell, taste, touch do not exist in my dream state. Yet I enjoy sight, sound, smell, flavors and textures in my dream state. This makes it very clear that the so-called external object is not out there. So the question arises, okay, if the object is not out there, it means it's not a solid physical object made of matter. Then what is it? Is it a mental object? Is it simply thought that is projected outside as an image? Is it that I am seeing my own mind in 3D? Yeah, but I cannot comprehend it. Is it like that? So, let's check if a mental object or a thought can exist. Here also, the same logic applies. If an object exists as a subtle object, it would not be different from a thought. So if one said that an object was thought about, it would imply that one thought about another thought, which means one thought is in another thought. But 2 thoughts cannot exist one in another. This means that subtle objects do not exist. This means thoughts do not exist. If thoughts really existed, then that would make another plane of time real. And that plane would stand apart and separate from the plane of awareness. Because in awareness there is no time. But what do I see in my own direct experience? I recognize that thoughts cannot be experienced without my awareness. Thoughts cannot be experienced without my consciousness. So it is not possible for thoughts and awareness to exist without each other. Then how can they be in 2 separate planes? And if they are in the same plane, do I notice the awareness divided into 2? Is there an object inside awareness? No. thought itself is objectless. So, what does this mean? There is only awareness. There is no thought. I cannot gather enough evidence for the existence of thoughts apart from my awareness. So Atmananda calls awareness the I principle or consciousness. So he says this I principle is said to be the witness of thoughts. And he says that I cannot come down to the mind's plane to witness the thought, even if you assume that there is a separate plane. So then what will happen? Then thoughts have to get transformed into pure consciousness in order to be witnessed by the I principle. Let's understand what is transformation now. Suppose I heat a bowl of water. Will that water get transformed into oil? No, water will get transformed into water vapor. Correct? The formula for water is H2O. The formula for water vapor is also H2O. Both are made up of the same substance, H2O. Similarly, thoughts are the liquid form of consciousness. Consciousness is the real nature of thought. Thought is simply a movement in consciousness. Consciousness by itself is stillness, is peace. It's that simple. Thoughts do not exist because they are objectless. And objectlessness is the nature of pure consciousness. So, thought is nothing but consciousness or the I. Thoughts are non-existent. Objects are non-existent. The plane of time and space is non-existent. The plane of time only is also non-existent. There is only consciousness. Therefore, all that appears, gross or subtle, is nothing but myself alone. It is just me. It is just I. Or in other words, in all activity or inactivity, it is I alone that shine. All experiences are inside me. They are not mine because mine implies that that which is mine is a separate object and I possess that separate object. No. They are not mine. They are me. All experiences are inside me, and the knowledge that is attained by these experiences is also inside me. If all experiences are me, if all knowledge is me, then how can anything be outside? This is what Atmananda is saying in this chapter. Atmananda is coming very close to what Gaudapada had said. Gaudapada had said that this world was never born. It's not that it appears and disappears. He says it was never born only. Why did he say that? He said that tiger in your dream last night, can you say that the tiger was born and died? You would say, no, what rubbish, it was a dream. That tiger was never born. Similarly, Gaudapada says, this is a waking dream. All of it. All of it. It is an image. It is not real. Just like the image of the tiger, you have the image of the spouse, image of the child, image of the parent, image of the world, image of all the possessions of this world, image of this person who you think is I. You only have images. Just like the tiger in the dream came up for a short while, played its role and disappeared. Similarly, these images come up, they play their role and they keep disappearing into nothingness again and again. It is your own mind that creates a story of continuity between them. There is no continuity. They just appear, disappear in the same nothingness, appear, disappear again and again into nothingness, appear and disappear into nothingness. They are the gaps in the void of the nothingness. These flashes of images. Actually, there is just the void, the nothingness. So you cannot say that the tiger in the dream was born and it died last night. No. The tiger never was. Ajata. Gaudapada says, the world never was. Ajata. Atmananda is taking us in the same direction. He's taking us in the same direction. So let's see how Atmananda conveys exactly the same thing that Gaudapada proclaimed so boldly in Ajata. Verse 1. Atmananda tells us very clearly, you have seen through your own direct experiential recognition that everything is inside. Experience is inside, knowledge is inside. Then how can their objects be outside? It's not even that it is inside me. It is actually I am everything. I am experience. And what is experience? Experience is nothing but Sat, the existence. I am experience. Similarly, I am knowledge. I am Chid. I am knowledge. Then how can the objects be outside when I am Sat and I am Chid? It's not possible. Correct? That brings us to the next verse. Verse 2. So Atmananda tells us in this verse, when I am experience, I am knowledge, they are inside me and there are no objects outside, it naturally follows that there is nothing outside. There is no outside. All is within. When everything that is experience and everything that is knowledge is inside me, it is obvious that there is nothing external to me. All is within. All is within. Do you experientially recognize this? If you have a window somewhere and you can look outside, look outside. What do you see? Probably some trees, maybe a street, some people, some buildings. What do you see beyond? Maybe far away some of you have mountains, some of you have meadows, and some people have nothing really far away, just buildings and buildings. And beyond that, what do you see? Some of you will say that I see the sky. Okay? And beyond the sky, what do you see? Do you see anything beyond the sky? Do you notice that beyond the sky is my awareness? There is nothing else. It is just my own awareness. That's it. Everything that you are seeing now is nothing but your own experience, your own knowledge of your own self. Everything is knowledge of your own self. Everything that you are seeing now, all of it is nothing but knowledge of your own self. You are experiencing your own self. There is nothing external to me. All is within me. That brings us to the last verse, verse number 3. It follows from the previous two verses that all is within me. Everything is within me. Does this mean that consciousness is broken into different parts called Sad and Chid? Think about it. Is the sun broken into two different parts, sun and sun rays? No. The sun and the sun rays are one and the same. The sun and its light are one and the same. Similarly, Chid and Sat are one and the same. The subject and the object are one and the same. Subject and object are one and the same. Means what? Experience and experiencer are one and the same. That is myself. So what is within is myself. The experiencer and the experience are one and the same. That is myself. There is only I. All is me. I am all. When one sees this in his own experiential recognition, he realizes that he has completed the journey from there is only I to there is no I, back to there is only I. The only difference between the first there is only I and the last there is only I is what? The first there is only I is the self-centered ego that considers itself to be this body-mind personality, that considers itself to be an individual existing entity in this world, that is someone. That was the egoistic I. And that moved finally to non-doership, where there is no I. All the doership dropped, all the experiencership dropped. And when you recognize the nature of that nothingness, the nobodiness, you recognize everything is that nothingness. Everything is nobodiness. All is one and the same in me. There is only I. So this final only I is not really an individual I. It is a universal I. Why do we say universal I and not a we or us? Because we or us would again imply a duality, multiplicity. No, there is no duality. We are all the same sunlight, and sun rays cannot be divided. There are no individual rays of the sun. There is only one single light. We all are that one single light of awareness, and everything shines in our own light. The experiencer as well as the experience are one and the same. That is myself. There is no outside. The subject and the object are one and the same. This is what Atmananda concludes in Chapter 15. There is only I. There is no outside. So manana for you. Do I recognize that there is no outside? Whatever is being projected, my so-called family, my so-called office or career, or job, or occupation, my so-called name, fame, money, my so-called world, do I see it very clearly, moment to moment, that it is nothing but me? All experience is me. I am the experiencer as well as the experience. I am knowledge itself. In me, the light of awareness, this physical body image shines. The sensations of this physical image shine. The perceptions of the images of the so-called world shine in my light. These are only pieces of knowledge. I am the light in which all this knowledge shines. This knowledge is inside me, the light of awareness. This experience is inside me, the light of awareness. And the experiencer also is inside me, the light of awareness. The subject and the object are not two. The subject and the object are not two. There is no two. There is no duality. Again and again, ask yourself this question. Am I able to see this Advaitam in my daily routine? Amidst drama, amidst tragedy, amidst comedy, amidst all fun, amidst sorrow. Do I recognize that all this shines in me, the light of awareness? Again and again, during the day, whenever you get a chance, look outside the window and remind yourself, what do I see? I see people and things. Beyond the things, what do I see? Oh, I see the sky. Okay, beyond the sky, isn't sky a thing? Beyond the sky, what do I see? Oh, I see myself. It is me, the awareness, me, the consciousness. All is me. There is only I. There is only I. So today's day, let's spend in quiet contemplation, quiet manana. Again and again, bringing myself to the recognition, there is only me. So let's start our silence for the day right now.